Yeah, hi. We have Dhaval Kapadia of Morningstar with us. He's sharing his feedback for yesterday's session at COFP monthly meet.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I think yesterday in a way was sort of like a revelation for me. Coming to your monthly meeting, I think this is one of the few cities I haven't actually visited such sort of meetings in other parts of the country. So I think it was very good to see so many of you sort of turn up and to know that you all interact regularly, meet regularly, and learning being an important objective. So and what I saw yesterday was that advisors across whether it's people that are relatively new to the business to advisors that are fairly experienced, freely sort of interacting, keen to learn and keen to grasp more knowledge. So I think that was definitely very encouraging. I think from an investor point of view, it's very important that as industry participants or as advisors, we all continue to sort of improve our skills, improve our knowledge, and continue to sort of learn. And which is what I noticed and observed at the meeting sort of yesterday. So great going. I think I'm sure you all will continue this sort of going ahead. So really great to see that.
Yeah, since event was in a cricket venue, so I'll use a cricket analogy. Mm-hmm. How speedy or how bouncy or how spinny were all the questions yesterday asked by the members?
Yeah, so definitely I think very interesting questions, and I think being sort of practitioners in this field, interacting with clients, you're able to see, as an advisor, you're able to see the actual scenario in front of you when you're interacting with clients. So a lot of the questions are very relevant, when it comes to. So one thing is practicing things at your end. The other thing is being able to convince clients about what the right approach is, whether it's asset allocation, whether it's diversification, and so on and so forth. I think it's not an easy task. Being an advisor. Trying to convince the clients of the right approach, but I think that's what we all need to sort of try and follow to try and ensure that like in Morningstar, we try and put investors first. I'm sure in your own businesses you're trying to do that. To be able to do that effectively, you need to be able to pass on some of the knowledge, the experience that you're gaining from managing investments and so on to your clients as well, so that their investment portfolios and eventually their own lives sort of improve over a period of time. And that's where we all will be able to add value to client portfolios. So specific to that, to the point that you mentioned in terms of the questions, I think very interesting questions, and it was a very, very interactive session. I think time and again I was looking at Jayant, that do we have to take time, do we have time enough to take sort of many questions, but it's very good. I mean, only when you ask questions you're able to sort of quell the curiosity that you have, and so it is a reflection of the thought process that people want to learn more, so therefore they're open to asking a lot of questions and interacting. So it was a reflection of that, and definitely a lot of the questions were quite sort of tough, and like you said, it was probably a track similar to what you've seen rather than the Chinnaswamy Stadium. It's more similar to what India and South Africa played recently at. So it was quite a bouncy sort of track, but yeah, I think it was interesting, and hopefully it was helpful to all the participants and the team as a whole at your end.
Yeah, the credit to Dhaval here, because he was not, unlike other Indian top orders, he was more like a Hardik Pandya, going on all gun blazing, didn't duck any bouncers, any question. He took all the questions and answered.
Yeah. It can work both ways, right?
Yeah.
When you go all guns blazing. But
so, come to the final question. So, what role does Morningstar Workstation play in financial advisor or an investment advisor or a portfolio manager?
Yeah. So I think the role that we are trying to play is we are trying to sort of, as an advisor, you're performing multiple activities every day, right? Right from trying to onboard clients, engage with clients, do financial planning, do reporting. So a lot of activities on an ongoing basis as an advisor that you're performing. You need to track markets, you need to track how portfolios are performing, review portfolios, and so on and so forth, monitor portfolios. Where the advisor workstation comes in is tries to ease some of the bandwidth and time that you're spending on analyzing portfolios, on conducting research, making recommendations to your clients. So the advisor workstation is trying to ease that bandwidth that you're spending there, improve your efficiency in other areas instead of you doing everything, from scratch, gathering data, whether it's on mutual funds or stocks or ULIPs, gathering data, analyzing portfolios, creating reports for clients, instead of you doing it manually, where typically, as we all know, the time spent on doing all of this on Excel and then converting into whatever presentations or Word files or whatever is a very time consuming activity, and the end result might not be necessarily very or completely satisfying to either you or to the client on occasions, even after you spend a fair degree of time. So the workstation helps you do all of this in a much more easier manner, to analyze portfolios, to research, like I said, whether it's mutual funds or stocks or ULIPs as an asset class. So analyze this in a much more easier way because you have the data available more easily and in a simplified manner on the platform. Review portfolios in a much more easier manner. Generate reports. Portfolio analytical reports, whether it's understanding the asset allocation of a client's current asset allocation. Say if you want to compare it to a recommended asset allocation, you can do that much more easily. The reports are relatively much more evolved in terms of, because at Morningstar we pay a lot of attention to design as well, to try and see that the reports that are being generated should be easily consumed by clients as well, because we know financial markets, with a lot of the jargon that we always use, clients at times get put off by that. So how do you simplify the entire process in a way of explaining things like asset allocation and so on and so forth to your clients? This is what we do a lot of work around, and this is what we try to incorporate in the advisor workstation. So ease your bandwidth. You also have access to our research on the platform. So whether it's our Morningstar star ratings on mutual funds, or whether it's our analyst ratings and our reports, on the platform. So you could use that as a second opinion, when you are making recommendations to your clients. So that's an additional thing that's available. You've got financial planning tools as well available on the platform for you to conduct financial planning with multiple scenario analysis. A lot of advisors that I talk to and financial planners are still using Excel, right? So you might be comfortable with Excel because you've used it over a period of time, but that might not be the optimum way to sort of create financial plans and maintain information, maintain plan data, and so on and so forth. So the software allows you to do that. So overall, I think improving efficiency, improving communication with clients, analysis and research. I think these are the areas where we believe Morningstar Workstation can play sort of a fairly large role. In fact, worldwide we've got more than 170,000 advisors that use this platform in other markets as well. So it's a fairly well developed and evolved tool, so to say, and we are continuously seeking feedback to see how we can sort of even improve it a bit further.
So what role does your model portfolio play in the scheme of things?
Yeah, so that's another step. So the tool essentially plays the role of the advisor workstation plays the tool of supporting your investment decision making. So it helps you make investment decisions for your clients, because you have the research, you have the analytics, you have the data, and so on and so forth, right? So you can select funds through various screeners. On the other hand, if you feel that you're slightly better off outsourcing the investment decision making in a way as well, that you would want to focus on maintaining client relationships, doing financial planning, and reviewing client portfolios and things like that. You could outsource a part of that investment decision making to Morningstar. So in other words, what we're saying is that instead of you reinventing the wheel, we would understand, and having worked with advisors in other markets as well, that as an advisor you may not have all the resources at your end to employ people who will do research, people who will do create asset allocation models and things like that. So instead of you reinventing the wheel, you could outsource that bit to Morningstar. So the way it can be done is through our model portfolio. So we've created a set of model portfolios, 5 model portfolios with suitable for different risk profiles and different investment horizons, therefore suitable for different sort of investment goals. So the underlying is essentially mutual funds. So we create the asset allocation using the research that we are conducting, worldwide, and the methodologies that we're using worldwide. We brought them sort of to the portfolios that we've constructed out here. We combine that with our fund research capabilities to construct, mutual fund-based model portfolios, which you can leverage or use for making recommendations to your clients. So essentially, these can act as guidance tools for recommendations that you're making to your clients when it comes to portfolios. Obviously, on an ongoing basis, we monitor these portfolios, we review these portfolios, review the assumptions that we're making, while we've constructed these portfolios, and so on and so forth. So essentially, as an advisor, you're able to leverage, institutional level capabilities around asset allocation, around research, and sort of again improve your efficiency as an advisor when it comes to advising clients on their investment portfolios. So we think these portfolios can play an important role when it comes to, like I said, when you're making recommendations to your clients on investments.
So basically increasing the efficiency of the advisors and making more time for him so that he can interact more with his client rather than concentrating on portfolio and investment. So basically outsourcing all the research to you guys.
Absolutely.
So it was a very delightful to host you in our monthly meet. It doesn't go without thanking tirelessly working behind the scene, the team of Morningstar, basically comprising of Amit, with whom I was coordinating, Nikita, your communication head, Sangeeta and Chetna. Without all these people, this event wouldn't have gone well. So a special shout out to all these guys. So probably we'll look forward to host you more in the future also.
Absolutely. I think we definitely look forward to doing that, and thank you for having us as part of your monthly meetings. We too look forward to being part of more such interactions with the entire team.
Thank you, Dhaval.
Yeah, pleasure.